Okay, I think we're live. Give me 1 sec to make sure everything's looking good. But I think we're live. Think the mic's good. Just give me 1 sec, guys. Still new to this. Great game, though. Shouldn't have been as close as it was, but we take the W. Think the mic's good. Okay, yeah, I think we're live. Just making sure everything's set up. What a game, though, like I said. It was, like I said, closer than it should have been. Way closer than it should have been. We ended up with the win, though. It's, they're ugly wins the last two games against lesser opponents in a team like the Pelicans and a team like the Brooklyn Nets, who I think literally could be one of the worst teams by the end of the year. But despite all that, again, things we need to clean up for sure. There are things we need to clean up, like, quickly, and our inexperience showed a little bit here. I think Mitch Johnson did a pretty good job. So let me just start with that and give you overall what happened in this game, because you can see in the how we scored in the first and second quarters, we were up by a lot. Like, we were up by a lot, and what happened in the third quarter, it wasn't even like start of the third quarter they just came out guns blazing. It was more of just like we took our foot off the gas. We had a lot of penalties, and the Nets honestly were just shooting the lights out in that third quarter. Like, they were in the first half they were cold from three, and then in the second half, especially in that third quarter, they were just hitting three after three after three. And it's kind of that saying where, like, if you go into the half and you've made a ridiculously amount of three-pointers, like if you're like 10 for 12 or if you're like 18 of 20, like, you expect the pendulum to go back, whether it's in this game or in the future. Like, usually, unless you're like a really historic team that shoots at that rate, that just doesn't happen. So you always have to wait for that pendulum to come back, whether it's good or bad. And it came back for the Nets in the third quarter. They were hitting their threes like no tomorrow. But, we were able to weather the storm pretty well, I feel like. I think we were up by 21, I believe, going into the half. It was 20 or 21. Offense was rolling. Defense was doing pretty well. And that third quarter, again, yes, there were penalties. Fouls, excuse me. There were fouls. There were missed shots. There were turnovers. But the Nets honestly just shot lights out, and their defense intensity picked it up. And one big thing that we need to address, and I said it in the last game, it's that we do not really, we've gotten better at it since last year for sure in the 3 games that we've seen, but we do not go out of a double team well, and usually that's Victor Wembanyama. He's the only one getting double team, really. We do not get out of it well. So Victor Wembanyama, he struggles with it a lot to find the open man or to make a decisive decision to get rid of the ball. And then also, on top of that, when he does get rid of the ball or he is decisive and he gets it out quickly, our guys aren't ready to shoot it. They're not being decisive, or they look to the wrong guy. They're not in the right position. That's something that I think teams are going to look at. Going forward, they're going to look at this game and look like, hey, okay, no one's been able to stop Wemby yet, but the Nets did it for a quarter and a half. Double team him and make the other Spurs figure it out. And I think we're going to keep seeing that until the Spurs fix it. I expect them to fix it. It's something that's very obvious to the eye if you're watching this game. I hope Mitch Johnson will get it fixed in the next couple of games. We have a game tomorrow, so that'll be interesting to see how quickly that turns around. But big win for the Spurs. And I say that also because we are down, a lot of guys. Luke Cornett was not playing tonight, which was huge. We only had Bismack Biyombo, our only other big. He did decent in the non-Wemby minutes. Fox, Sohan, Olynyk still out. Lindy Waters is out as well. So, just give me 1 sec. So yeah, but other than that, good come from behind win. I know we were up by 20, but at the end of the day, we were down by like 6, I believe, in the fourth. Much like the Pelicans game, we were down after we should have been up, but in the fourth we came through. And there is one guy who in both games so far has really been big for us, and his name is Dylan Harper, the rookie. Dylan Harper has been outstanding in these clutch situations for the San Antonio Spurs. Like, he has been so good. He's been so freaking good for us. In this game, he was huge, getting some points for us when we needed it. He was huge in the last game where we needed points, we needed some offense, and we got it from Dylan Harper. And I think I don't look at plus minus too much and make it a big deal, but this right here, this right here, plus 33 plus minus for Dylan Harper, the rookie. I think that's the biggest plus minus of any player. Biggest for the Spurs for sure. And yeah, that's biggest on the Nets as well for the whole game. He was so good when he was on the court. I cannot speak to the levels that he played. He had 29 minutes, so he's getting good minutes out the gate, which we needed all those 29 minutes, especially in the fourth quarter. 8 of 11 shooting, 4 of 4 on his free throws, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals. He had 4 fouls, and that's been a problem for him to start the year, is fouls. But the defense is not bad besides the fouls, and then 20 points to go along with it. He is so efficient at the rim. As a rookie in his third game, it is scary. Much like Stephon Castle, who is a great rim, puts pressure on the rim, is a good slasher. He does not have, I would say, the finesse or the dribbling ability of Dylan Harper. And it was clear as day already. Dylan Harper is so good. And this is something that I've said for a while now. And I've been saying, by the end of the year, will Dylan Harper start? Because I think he's really good. And he keeps showing it. He keeps proving me right. So, sorry, give me 1 sec. Spurs should start Harper over Castle. Okay, I don't necessarily disagree with that. I do right now. Here's the thing. I know a lot of Spurs fans are going to look at these past 2 games and be like, Dylan Harper was huge for us in the fourth quarter. Like I just said, he's been amazing for us in this fourth quarter. Now, I don't think he should start right now. And I say that because if you ask me right now, who is the better player, Stephon Castle or Dylan Harper? Stephon Castle is still better. It's only 3 games in Dylan Harper's career. Defensively, for sure, Stephon Castle is much better. Still a more sound player overall. But, like I said, Dylan Harper is really good. And you can look at this game. Stephon Castle was not as good. They had about the same minutes. Stephon was 5 of 10 from the field, so about 50%. 0-2 in his threes. 3 of 5 from the free throw line. 6 rebounds. 3 assists. 5 turnovers, and 4 fouls. That's something that should be concerning for the Spurs fans, and it's concerning for me, is that we saw what Stephon Castle looked like in Game 1, and we were all ready to be like, oh, I saw even some analysts saying, Victor Wembanyama, after game 1, the Spurs against the Mavericks, people were saying Victor Wembanyama is the best player in the league. And also, Stephon Castle, you have your guy in Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper. You don't need De'Aaron Fox. And I think what we've seen in the last 2 games is that Stephon Castle is still young, he's still learning, and he's not a true point guard. Dylan Harper is. Does that mean Dylan Harper should start? I'm not saying he should. I think for now, until Fox comes back, which hopefully will be soon, I think Stephon Castle should continue to start at the 1. Not only is he overall the better player still, and has more time with Wemby and more connections with all the other players on this team, he's the by far best perimeter defender we have, besides maybe Sohan. And when you look at it, I look at it like this. You know when the Spurs had Sohan start at the 1 in that 1 year? I believe it was Victor's rookie year. Yes, it sucked. And yes, we were stinking up that year. But it did what for Sohan? Gave him a lot of confidence on offense, which gave him better ability to pass, to dribble. And no, he's not a point guard now, but he's a much more polished offensive player than he was back when he was a rookie. And I attributed a lot of that to the growing pains of that year, his sophomore year with Victor Wembanyama starting at point. Like, yes, he struggled mightily. He struggled a lot. But it made him a better passer. It made him a better offensive player overall. I feel like the Spurs are somewhat doing that with Stephon Castle, plus the fact that it's just he's better than Dylan Harper for now. But like I said, I say for now because what I'm seeing from Dylan Harper is nothing short of just oozing potential. He is so good. He is so good. The way he gets to the rim with almost ease, when he was running the pick and roll at the end of the game, so easy. It was like cat and mouse game. He's like going off the pick, and he's looking, going at his own pace, seeing if Victor's open, if another man's open, if he's going to drive. He does it with such ease. And you see it, 8 of 11 field goals. Like, he is so efficient at the rim. You looked at his college stats at Rutgers. He shot at the rim as good as, like, big men do, which is so impressive for a point guard. Like, big men shoot a high percentage at the rim because that's literally all they shoot. They have a lot of dunks, a lot of easy putbacks, stuff like that. But a point guard to shoot that efficient at the rim at Rutgers, and now you're seeing it here, which most of his shots were layups. He's so good. And again, I don't think he should start right now. If you do think he should start, give me a reason why Harper should start over Castle now. Like, genuinely, I can think of a couple reasons, but I don't think they outweigh the reasons Stephon Castle should start over Harper, if that makes sense. I think Harper is really good. I think Stephon Castle is really good. I think De'Aaron Fox is better than both of them. He's more polished. And again, it's going to be a great problem to have when you have a 3-headed monster of a point guard room like that. But again, I emphasize this. People always say you cannot continue to play with 3 point guards. You need to get rid of one of them. And I look at that and I'm just like, number one, we don't have to do that this season. If we were to get rid of one of the point guards, we do not have to do that this season. We just extended Fox. We just got Harper as a rookie, and this is Stephon Castle's second year coming off the Rookie of the Year last year. So the Spurs, in my opinion, they're like in no rush to get rid of anyone. And yes, the problem comes is because a lot of them cannot shoot. So Stephon Castle is not a good outside shooter. Neither is De'Aaron Fox. Neither is Dylan Harper. I hope that Stephon Castle can improve to be at least below average. Same thing with Dylan Harper. And here's the other thing I want to point out. Even if you say Stephon Castle is a point guard, which he's truly not, you can run 3-guard rotations. And because Stephon Castle is not, I'm just going to say he's not a true point guard. He is a 2-way guard. He can play shooting guard. He can play even small forward. Because of how strong he is, of his size and his defensive ability, he can play the small forward position at 6'6". He's a good defender, great size. I mean, we have Devin Vassell at the 3 right now. Or we had Devin Vassell at the 3 in years past. He's like 6'5". So you can run Stephon Castle at the 3. Is there a world where in the future you run De'Aaron Fox, Harper, and Castle on the floor at the same time? Probably not, only because of the spacing. But again, even with that, there's teams like the Orlando Magic who literally have one of the worst starting five as it goes with 3-point shooting. Last year, their 3-point shooting on the starting five was terrible, and they made the playoffs as the 4 seed or something like that. I'm not saying the Spurs should do that, but even if you run a lineup of Fox, Castle, Harper, let's say even worst case scenario, Sohan and Wemby. One, you have Wemby who can't shoot the three, and he shot more threes than he did all season long today with 6. I feel like he was doing that because of the double team slightly, and because he couldn't get easy early buckets as he wanted. But Victor can shoot. With that, Sohan is not a good shooter. Neither is Stephon Castle. And then Harper and De'Aaron Fox, I suspect, are going to be they're going to be below average. But even with that, yes, it's a double-edged sword in the sense that it's not ideal that 4 of the 5 guys cannot shoot, and the only guy that can shoot is your center, Victor Wembanyama. But if you look at it like the intense rim pressure that you're going to put on teams with Fox, with Castle, Harper, even Sohan and Wemby, that is ridiculous. I'm not saying the Spurs should do that. I'm just trying to make a point here where it's like people are so quick to be like, we have to get rid of one of them. We have to get rid of one of them. We have Dylan Harper on a rookie contract. We have Stephon Castle, who we just extended his rookie extension. We just signed De'Aaron Fox to a super max. We're not, or I think just a max contract. I think bare minimum we should keep this trio for this year and next year for a good 2 seasons before we have to extend Wemby, and that's when it comes to okay, now let's see where we can put money elsewhere. Maybe trade one of those guys. That's where it becomes an issue. But for now, keep them all. Keep doing what you're doing. And because Stephon Castle can play the 3, if you really need him to, and because Dylan Harper has good size as a point guard, can run the 2, we're completely fine. So Dylan Harper, great game. He's going to make, again, people say it's a problem. It's a great problem to have if you're a Spurs fan. Jordan McLaughlin and Bismack Biyombo did what they needed to do. I was hoping a little more from Bismack Biyombo, but at the end of the day, what was I going to expect? I low-key wanted to see more Carter Bryant minutes. Maybe even playing him at the center spot for Wemby because Luke Cornett's not healthy today, but that didn't end up happening. He almost had that big poster on the Nets players in the first quarter, which would have been crazy. But Keldon Johnson, another guy who Spurs fans have been egging on to get rid of, have been saying it for who knows how long now. And honestly, I think he would have been gone by now, but he is not. He's still with us. He had a big 30 minutes, 5 of 9 shooting, 2 of 4 3-pointers. He's been shooting his 3-pointers well. Granted, they've been mainly the corner, but he's picking his spots well. He's shooting the ball well for now. I mean, again, he's not a great shooter, but 7 of 7 from the free throw line. 3 offensive rebounds was huge for Keldon. For a guy that's around 6'4", 6'5", and who's slimmed down, is still so strong, such a big body that he attacks the glass and he gets rebounds. He was so good for us. That's the most on the team. 3 offensive rebounds. 4 rebounds total. 7 rebounds total. Plus minus of plus 19. Again, I don't look into that too much, and he had 19 points. He was huge for us, and a steady offensive weapon and offensive energizer is Keldon Johnson. And his defense has seemed to have improved as well. Stephon Castle did not have a great game. He shot the ball well, decently. He was 0 for 2 from 3, still struggling from the free throw line. His plus minus was -7, which isn't great. He had 13 points. He struggled, and again, 5 turnovers is not great. I don't think he's a true one. I think that's why you're seeing the problems now as he tries to initiate the offense. So it will be good when we get De'Aaron Fox back. Even better. But Stephon Castle, for now, he's struggled the past couple of games. I expect him to bounce back, hopefully. And he still has all the tools to be a great player. Needs to improve the shooting, though. And improve the playmaking a little bit. Because, again, I don't think he's going to, in the future, be a point guard, a true number 1 on any team. So, just get a little better at the decision-making. You don't have to make all the passes in the world. Just be decisive, be smart. And his defense, again, stellar. Devin Vassell, another good game. 16 points, not great, but 4 of 6 from 3-pointers, which has been huge for us. He's been the really steady 3-point shooter on this team Same thing with Julian Champagny, who had an off game last game, though. He had 13 points. Harrison Barnes has been struggling, and this is something that is going to be really interesting once Sohan comes back. 0 of 5 from three-pointers. He was lights out last year. This year, so far, he has struggled at the three-point line. And I would ask you, Spurs fans, should he be benched? He's still a decent defender, still a steady offensive player, but if you're asking me personally, I would rather have Sohan out there. That's just my personal taste, and I get it. There's problems with the spacing. And so it's going to be really interesting when De'Aaron Fox comes back and when Sohan comes back, how Mitch Johnson is going to affect or change the starting lineup. You can bet, again, everything that De'Aaron Fox will be the starting one, Wemby is the starting 5. Other than that, he could really change it up either way. He could put Sohan in and take out Barnes. He could put, who knows, he could leave Sohan off the bench, and still you're going to have to bench one of the Champagny, Barnes, Vassell, or Castle. Who would he bench in that situation? Because, again, you want to space out your shooting, which we don't have shooting on this team anyway. Like, if you look at it, Barnes supposedly is a good three-point shooter, and we're going to keep him as that for now. Like, we're going to say he's a good shooter still. Champagny is a good shooter. Vassell is a good shooter. Wemby is a good shooter. He's not a high-volume guy, but he's still proved that he's a good shooter. KJ is not. Stephon Castle is not. Dylan Harper is not. At least we haven't seen it yet. Cornette is not. And Fox is not. Neither is Sohan. So we have really 4 three-point shooters on this team. So if you're asking me, I think Spurs are going 10 deep this year once everyone's healthy. With Barnes, Champagny, Wemby, Vassell, Castle, Fox, Sohan, Johnson, Harper, and Cornette. And then you still have guys like Olynyk and Carter Bryant who can come off and get some minutes sometimes. But we have a deep team. I think we should go 10-man rotations for most of the year when we can. So with that, you have 4 three-point shooters on this team. Again, Harrison Barnes has struggled, but you want to even it out, so like 2 on the bench, 2 on the starting lineup. So who are those 2 starters for the team? Out of Champagny, Barnes, Vassell, who else am I missing? And Wemby. You know Wemby's starting. So that means you can have another good three-point shooter in the starting lineup and then bench 2 of them. If you're asking me, once Sohan, Olynyk, Fox is healthy, I would go Fox at the 1, Wemby at the 5. At this point, it becomes tricky. You still want another three-point shooter out there. To me, it's not Barnes. It's not even Vassell. It could be Vassell. Here's the thing. Either you go Fox, Vassell, Castle, Sohan, Wemby, or you go Fox, Castle, Champagny, Sohan, Wemby. Either one would work. But Champagny and Vassell, I feel like, are the best three-point shooters. Vassell is obviously a better overall offensive player, which is why it could be good to put him on the second unit alongside Dylan Harper, for Dylan Harper to create for himself and for others, and for Vassell to have that shot creator on the second unit. But again, if you want more shooting on the offensive side, you want Castle coming off the bench, you can do that too. It's going to be really interesting, especially by the end of the year, to see who is the better player between Devin Vassell, Stephon Castle, and Dylan Harper. I think right now Castle's probably the best overall, then Vassell, then Harper. But Vassell and Castle are really close, and I presume Harper will be in those conversations as one of the best players, as good as those 3 players by the end of the year. So it will be interesting to see what the Spurs do. But they get the win. Wemby had a decent game. 9 of 21 from the field. 3 of 6 from three-point land. 10 of 15 from his free throws. Not as efficient at the free throw line as he should have been. 14 rebounds. 4 assists, which we haven't really seen him do yet. 3 steals, 6 blocks. His first 2 turnovers of the year. 3 fouls. 31 points, a plus-minus of 13. He had a good game. Had some silly fouls. And even in the last game against the Pelicans, that foul at the end was just so silly. He needs to get better on some of those decisions. He's still young, though. He'll be fine. The defense when Wemby's on the court is so good. 6 blocks, obviously. And that's not even to count the times people ran into the paint and then just ran out. or people got up a shot quicker or was way off because Wemby was there. Just his presence alone is so good. And then he didn't have a crazy game, it felt like, as far as how efficient he was inside the arc, but he had 3 3-pointers, which was huge. He was 3 of 6. So he's still shooting the ball pretty well. And yeah, I think, again, it was an ugly win. We were rolling in the first half. Third quarter was bad, but again, the Nets just really shot the ball well in that second half. Like, overall in the game, they shot 16 of 50, which is not great. But it felt like they made all those 16 in the third quarter. Like, they really were not missing for a decent amount of time. But we get another win, still undefeated. 3-0 to start the year. Brooklyn Nets are still 0-3. That's going to be it for me as far as the stream goes.